Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Not communicating with them is the best way to heal, but it seems like that's what my BP Dex wants too. Divorce. I agree that North Carolina, minimal contact in my case since I was unfortunate to choose her as my kid's mom, is the best way to heal. It's helped me to begin to move on even though the wounds are still so real in my mind 6 months later. However, I do feel like my BP Dex is happy that we are North Carolina, because it means she no longer has to see the people she has hurt so badly. She can continue to run away and block out that havoc which she has caused and pretend it never happened. With her new supplies that take her side of the story as gospel and treat her like a victim like I once did. That sucks. She should have to face the consequences of her actions, but in order for that to happen I'd have to look petty by blowing shit up on social media or with people who know her. She is high in narcissistic traits as well, so as long as she has her supply she's more than happy to leave all the people she's hurt in the real world and pretend they never existed. I agree with this as well. It's the out of sight out of mind mentality. No wonder when she broke up with me at the end she couldn't do it in person and I had just dropped her off at home. It's because she felt ashamed of what she did to me probably that night. Sucked my roommate's dick just to get back at me, and he's nasty greasy dude. Didn't find out about this till I kicked his ass out. But funny enough, after we broke up she was posting messed up things to get me to react, and I eventually did, and I think she did all of that just to tell me she monkey branched to some other dude within like 2 days. Still blows my mind that the person I met in the beginning was never really the real her. Oh well, dude she monkey branched to is going to eventually feel the burn. Well, I think he probably already is since they already moved in together, and that's usually when the real shit show starts. I hope so. She's actually ducking with a married couple, both of them. They were mutual friends of ours, and living with them. She moved in with them the night we separated. She puts on this happy face, always makes sure to show off her ring and new car and shit during child exchanges. I just have to trust that she will do them the way she did me, but it's very hard to convince myself of that sometimes. The couple she lives with are very poor and both ugly. She even said so herself before, so I guess she's just with them because they support her unconditionally, even when she's outed for child abuse. They're scum just like her. It's like you said, the person they are with is totally different than the person they actually are, which has caused me to doubt my feelings a lot, and that's something I'm working on. Did the roommate just tell you this when y'all were getting into it? If not, how did you come to find out? I tried kicking him out a few times. Dude's probably a cluster B as well since he blew up on the dumbest shit more than once. He was one of my best friends for like 17 years, but enough was enough. The final straw was when he blew up at me over an Amazon package I ordered for him, and he kept bitching about it not showing up yet, so I told him I don't know when it's going to come and stop looking at me like it's my fault, and that set him off. That night he blew up on me on text and told me she tried to sleep with him and everything, saying she had a crush on him the first time they met. Then a couple weeks later, after we calmed down, I was going to the courthouse to have him evicted. I still told him he needs to get the duck out. Then he goes on and tells me the reason she wanted to duck him was because she sucked his dick. He was also talking shit to his friends about my dad and brother. I told my brother everything, and he was going to show up at the house with 3 other dudes and beat the ducking shit out of him. My brother told his cousin, who's a tough MF, and his cousin told him, and he was out the next day to his friend's house cause he's that much of a pussy. Also, to clarify, he would not move out or anything, he was being a passive aggressive pile of shit. After he moved out though, I found in his room that she planted some stuff in there in the closet, like her makeup remover behind a small board, bottle of booze she had, and one of her earrings. And yet she has the decency to blame me for everything. Girl's a nasty hoe, no wonder she lost her kids. Something is definitely up with dude. Sounds like a huge piece of shit and probably has cluster B traits as well. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's just a whole different kind of pain right there. especially being betrayed by someone you thought was a friend. I'm pretty sure my ex cheated on me with my roommate also. She would drop hints that she liked him, and there was a period prior to her accusations getting intense where she would get up in the middle of the night and spend hours outside my room. He was also the insecure competitive type, he would like a girl if someone in the friend group liked them also. I'm still unsure and I can't prove anything, but that's been one of the major reasons why I stopped talking to him after we moved out. Don't think I'll ever get a straight answer. Really wish I had kicked that girl out of my life at the first glaring red sign. Biggest mistake of my life SMH. In all honesty, he was more crazy than she was. He has such a massive temper, and the longer he stayed with me, 10 months, the more and more it came out. He's one of the biggest losers I ever met, and he hates being called a loser, so when he was blowing up at me in the end I said duck it and hit him as hard as I could with all of his bullshit because I had enough. For all I know, he actually made the part up about her sucking his dick, cause I just don't know, but she was constantly hanging out with him all night within the last month of us dating, and it seriously started to bug the shit out of me. She didn't see that and just labeled me as jealous and all of this other bullshit, but even before that she was trying to make me jealous all of the time, another one of their constant shit tests. She and him were both losers, no jobs, well he lost his and went on A, and she was just a loser. Both were doing acid all of the time and drinking. I got so pissed about it, and obviously she called me controlling and all of this. She was supposed to be working on herself to get her kids back cause she neglected them, but blamed everyone else, saying everyone was lying when they weren't. If he never moved in I probably would still be with her, but miserable as all duck. She monkey branched to some other dude that lets her do all of the drugs. But she did end up losing those kids to the dads, and now she has to work to make a living, was living off child taxes and COVID money before doing nothing at home but smoking weed and playing games. It's kind of funny cause her life went to shit when she met me. She left her ex to be with me, who she was with for 10 years on and off, and then boom, her life completely imploded. I tried everything to help her and gave her a lot of tools to improve her situation. But in the end I was the bad one for making her feel like shit, blah blah blah. She just did the opposite. I should have ran when child services showed up at her house within a month of dating her. I agree with you also, she had nothing bad, huge ass red flags, but I was only 4 months out of another toxic relationship with my ex that I was with for 6 years, not to mention my mom passed away 2 months prior, so I was a total ducking mess and I just wanted someone. She gave me all this love and attention at the beginning, then it all went poof when me and my friends had a blow up. My fault, I pushed them away because I was just dealing with so much bullshit in my life. We are all good now again though after me and the cunt broke up. It was only a 4-month relationship and I am finally in the final stages of getting over her, and it's been 11 months. Didn't need more pain like that in my life. Her and him are both losers. I'm glad you got them out of your life, man. Glad you're also doing better. All these people do is take until you're dry. Good thing you stopped that parasitic relationship before they got you to that point. Same to you. It's true that they are parasites, they just take from everyone, they use people just to coast on in life. The fact that they can never get to the point where they stand on their own 2 feet by themselves seriously boggles my mind. Both have always needed help in life for every occasion, and when you help them out just to stand by themselves, they turn on you and then blame you and make you feel like shit when you give them that tiny push to do better. Seeing her during child exchange is torture. Rant. I have to see her twice a week for child exchange for now, and it is awful. We're minimal contact, only talking about the kid. Just when I think I have her out of my mind and am able to control my thoughts about her and the abuse she's put me through, one little odd exchange can have my thoughts racing and absorbed with her again. Today all it took was her having on a white ring on her left hand, I believe middle finger. I knew it was from her partner's, but when I googled it, it said it means aromantic. So now my mind is racing with thoughts of if she's aromantic now or not, or possibly if it's a promise ring or something. She could even be using it as a deterrent because she's in a poly relationship and she's been hiding it from everyone. Either way, she is living a lie. She could be because she's been having an extreme mental health crisis. Just not long ago she was polyamorous. Now she's aromantic. This woman is off the walls, crazy. It's amazing how people can live a lie so convincingly and for so long. 9 years I was lied to and gaslighted, and I had no idea. Rant over. I'm optimistic I will continue to care less and less about her and what she does, but the ring triggered me today. The ring means nothing. Her trivial life crap, the sexual identity, and her mental health issues mean nothing. She being crazy should mean nothing unless it warrants the safety of your child. All these observations you're making are unnecessary and only steals your attention and energy. The ring means a lot for different sorts of people depending on who sees it, and it's just meant to signal, displace, or calibrate people's attention. In your case it was meant to trigger you into a vortex of negative thoughts. Whether that's her intention, she succeeded because it stole your attention from the time it happened up to the current moment where you typed the post. All the reaction and thoughts that arose from that situation is now stolen energy. Don't even worry about getting it back, because you inevitably will, by focusing on yourself more. You are not playing her stupid games anymore, you're playing yours, and she is not in any way a part of that, nor should she ever be. Tell yourself, that was the last time you will ever be mentally displaced by anything she does. It's hard to tell you to stop seeing her, because you will see her no matter what due to child-related matters. Until that day, start taking care of yourself, a balance of self-care and self-love. Quiet your mind and be watchful of your own thoughts as you slowly heal and free yourself from any negative influences that are still lingering in you. When thoughts of her come to the surface, slowly teach yourself how to minimize and mitigate those. They're nothing but distractions, like the stupid ring. So the next time you see her, when your mind is completely quiet and there are no racing thoughts of judgment or confusion that arise, only selflessly focusing on the moment of handoff and then leaving promptly. You're not seeing someone you used to know and still care about as the mother of your child. No, you're seeing someone that you've separated yourself from to spare yourself from abuse. APs who are friends with the BS. Rant. I just want to say that APs who are friends with the BS are a special kind of scum. They don't get the heat they deserve because all the focus is on the WS. I just read a poster's story about how the AP was best friends with the WS and started hanging out with the BS after the affair. I just want to say that's a special kind of sick, to befriend someone who you know you've been ducking around with their partner. Like, why even bother to make a friend connection with someone when you've been sleeping around with their partner? That just sets them up for a double betrayal for no ducking reason. This was my situation. My best friend of 13 years had an affair with my now ex-BF of almost 3 years for nearly a year. My other best friend of 6 years and yet another girl I was friendly with knew about it the entire time and said not a word to me. It was one of the most painful things I'd ever gone through, and thinking of it still makes me feel a little sick, even almost 6 months past D-Day. I lost my entire friend group and a man I thought I'd marry. I've now cut every one of them out of my life. The wounds are still so sore. It hasn't even been a month since I cut my ex out, but I know there is a greater happiness out there for me. The nightmares I have are also painful and full of anxiety. I hope in time they will stop. I'm working towards bettering myself body, mind and soul, and I know in my heart that the best revenge is to live well. Thanks for this post. Man, that's a triple betrayal. I'm so sorry you went through that. I also went through a triple betrayal. The two people she cheated with weren't close friends of mine, but they were around a lot because of her and we helped them out a lot financially. Turns out they were having an emotional affair, at least, which turned into a monkey branch. It's the worst pain I could imagine. I'm also 6 months out. One positive though is that I'm so much stronger and have much stronger boundaries now. I won't be treated this way again. Best of luck. It seems like you are, but remember to grieve. Your loss is real. Great days ahead. Yo, I'm in the same boat. I feel you. Been almost 3 years for me and my life is a lot different and not really in a good way. It's pretty lonely. Hang in there and good luck. How come it took you 5 months to cut ties to your ex? Before I came to the realization that reconciliation would be basically impossible, I wanted to try it. I think I wanted to try more so because I literally had no one else to turn to, and he was there apologizing and showing remorse and enduring all my outbursts of extreme anger and pain. I was codependent and truly feared being alone. We were in a lease until July 2022, he moved out to his parents' house and we both worked on saving money to break it so we could cut all financial obligations between us. I struggled with letting go, but I struggled harder with realizing that if I actually forgave him, I would forever know that I was trusting my vulnerable, true and loyal heart to someone undeserving and capable of callous, selfish acts. I think breaking the lease and listening to Leave a Cheat Again a Life on Repeat finally gave me the strength to cut him off. It was just immensely hard for me to lose everyone and also lose the one person who I had thought loved me and been there for me for the last few years. I think some might look at my actions and think it was weak of me not to cut him off the moment I found out, but those people weren't there and they weren't me. I think I did the best I could and I have absolute compassion for myself and what I went through. I'll always be proud that I was able to find the strength to love myself enough to leave it all in the past. I appreciate it. It's never a black or white decision and life, sometimes, gets in the middle. I hope you've found your peace now. Someone just recently posted about his wife having an affair with his own brother. That's an all-time low. Just a level of such vindictive evil I can't comprehend. Sleeping with your sibling's spouse. Absolutely disgusting. I hope the BS is well. My sister slept with my husband. At the time, my 2 children were in diapers. She was babysitting while we worked. She was going to college and needed a place to stay that was close to her school. Win-win, right? My husband is long gone, but my sister is always going to be in my family. Even though it's been years, my children are grown, I have never been able to forget. I think about it every time I see her. I don't want to, but I do. My relationship with my sister was forever altered. It also caused a massive shitstorm within the family. The only thing I can tell you about this is that karma is inevitable. Man, that sucks, I'm sorry. And under the guise of babysitting, I'm not a vengeful nor bitter person, but if my sibling did that to me, I'd surely never speak to them again. I might go so far as to avoid their presence altogether at any future family events. Family just shouldn't do that to family. It took a very long time to not flip out whenever I saw her. If I thought she was going to be somewhere, I just didn't go. That caused me to be estranged from my family, not her. Crazy, right? I'm from a large family. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. This particular sister slept with 2 more brother-in-laws and possibly my stepdad. She also tried to sleep with my long-term boyfriend. He told me as soon as it happened. Anyway, through the years, I have watched while karma beat her ass. She is miserable and in bad health. I almost feel sorry for her now. I said almost. Ha ha ha. Your family should ostracize her as she is toxic and only there to cause misery. That must be happening in your own head to think that type of repeated behavior is okay. I don't condone that behavior. I also cannot control how my family chooses to react to these things. If you look at my other comment, I said I wound up estranged from my family. From time to time, throughout the years, I have had minimal contact with her. Like if I was visiting my mom or one of my siblings and she just happened to show up while I was there, I would just leave. If I knew she would be somewhere, I just didn't go. Also the definition of dysfunctional family has my family name as a reference guide. Ha ha ha. Hope you have a good support system outside your immediate family. From an angel to a devil, it is life-altering when they lift the mask. Divorce. I'm 6 months separated and I am still absolutely baffled that my STBXW is the same person I've been with for 9 years. I find myself going through old pictures every few weeks or so. I am a very past-oriented person. I'm always reflecting on my past and I love to explore my nostalgia. However, the past 9 years of memories are now tainted. This is paint shopping, I know, but I can't help myself sometimes. I look at pictures and videos of her from as recent as 2 years ago and I see an absolute angel. She had this childlike glow about her. An angel is the best way I can describe it. In retrospect, she was damaged, stuck in a childlike mindset. She loved me like a daughter loves her father. It was intense and she love-bombed me so hard as she desperately craved my attention and affection. She would shower me with expensive gifts and handmade crafts that had to have taken hours to create. I loved her so strongly, yet it was a toxic love. I always thought it was a quirk of hers to talk in baby talk like I love it, and she would call me Daddy Bear. It went back as far as when we started dating back in high school, all red flags of her BPD. She had no boundaries, would do anything I asked sexually, which was a lot because I'm a high sex drive person, and she would always somehow be a pro at whatever new kink I introduced right away. She was a virgin when we got together, and yet she was like a porn star in bed. She was everything I wanted her to be. She mirrored me so well. She was an atheist like me, and yet wanted a family with traditional values, just like me. I shared my every deepest secret with her, and she did the same with me, or so I thought. She was a freak in bed, just like me. She loved all the same things I did, all the same games, all the same movies, everything. She would have bouts of anger that were uncontrollable. All I could do was wait them out while she berated me about whatever it is she could think of. She just said, when I get like that, just hug me and hold me tight. Well, I tried it, and all it got me was more berating while she flailed away from me. Once we had a kid together, those bouts of anger then became directed at our child. This went on for years until I'd done all I knew to do and threatened divorce if she didn't stop abusing our child. That is when the mask came off. She cheated on me, distanced herself, attempted suicide, and shortly after discarded me. During this period of about 2 months, she painted me black and did everything she knew she could to hurt me. She started ducking mutual friends of ours, the ones I had always worried about, and she knew this. She made sure I knew every detail. She's been attempting to take our kid to live with them and her. I've been fighting this, but who knows if I will win the legal battle. She's told every deepest secret I've confided in her to her friends and used it to berate me. She's falsely accused me of sexual assault. She burned and smashed every gift I'd given her, every precious keepsake we had together. She's built a mountain of lies so high she can barely keep up with them. No emotion is behind those eyes anymore. She is like a demon now. The emotions she shows are just thinly veiled acting, fleeting and only while she's being looked at. The mask has been lifted, and behind it lies a monster. Because I have kids with her, I can't escape her. She has broken me. I am just floating in this world now, trying to hold together what I can while she smashes and steals everything around me. I do what I can to protect my kids from her, but the legal system is unreliable. Who knows what will happen? This is the pivotal event in my life, this relationship with her. Nothing will ever be so profoundly intoxicating, breathtakingly beautiful, and mind-breakingly painful in my life again. I am like an addict who shot up heroin. Now I'm coming down and everything around me is dull and meaningless. I am just living life the best I know how, waiting for the meaning and joy to find its way to me again. For now, I am broken. I am plagued with daily flashbacks of horror. I cry until I can't cry anymore, and then that sadness I can't cry out turns to anxiety. I cry until my face hurts, and then the crying turns to laughter as I realize what a joke the last 9 years have been. I'm just doing my best, taking the gut-wrenching blows as they come, until the joy finds me again. One piece of advice I learned early on in life, but took on a whole different meaning after my BPD relationship: there is no such thing as side effects. What I mean by that is that when we think about medicine, we think in terms of beneficial effects and side effects. The thing is, they're all just effects. The side effects are just PR. It helps us compartmentalize the bad, so we can focus on the good. Problem is that in relationships, that is counterproductive. It's so easy to separate the good and the bad and focus on but he has so many good qualities. We need to learn to look at the totality of who they are and not compartmentalize. It helps with accepting who they are, and then moving past it. Extremely well thought out and articulated point this. That compartmentalized way of thinking is of course aggravated when faced with extreme splitting behavior. It is our own survival and attachment protection mechanisms kicking in but pushed into the extremes and far beyond healthy limits. So yeah, the job is to restore all that compartmentalized content into one total image again, which is hard until you let go of your desire to ever make some sense of the whole. Perfectly explained. It is so hard, but absolutely necessary not only to heal, but to take steps towards having healthier relationships in the future. Incredible how this childlike glow is something people keep repeating about BPD. It's exactly how I describe my ex. Your story could have been written by me. It's so similar. Good that we didn't manage to have children because I always suspected that what your STBX did to your child would be something mine would do also. I feel your pain, man. It's gonna be alright in the end. You just need to feel all the sadness and disappointment. In my experience, that is what eventually makes it go away. This was conveniently right about the same time I fell into the old nostalgia trap. I, too, ruminate about the past in some cathartic way, which sometimes romanticizes it in my mind. Just like you, I am roughly 6 months out from an ex-fiancé, house, move out of state and relationship of 8 years, and I am currently in the same boat. I was going through my old phones to give to my niece and I fell into the trap of seeing my old pictures and text message threads between us. It was a nice kick in the balls. The days when the communication was filled with love and excitement, only to be decimated with repugnant vile behavior. Seems more like a fantasy turned nightmare than reality. Oh yeah, it's a kick to the nuts. I recently saw the old messages between us, the I love yous, the you're my favorite person. The dates on the messages correspond to the time she was cheating. Fun. I thank you for the post tonight and it resonated with me. I can sit here and say it gets better, I mean it for me, it's been almost a year, but every marriage and relationship is unique, especially for us. All the patterns, behaviors, splitting, dissociating, cheating, the darkness inside that was hidden away, it becomes our same nightmare in a way. Why couldn't it just stay hidden away? Married 5 years and it was our second marriage for both of us. We already had the kids and at the time my kids and her kids were either young adults or about to be, so for me she was as perfect as you could ever get and our lives collided perfectly. Enjoy our self-sufficient young adult kids, watch them fall on their faces as young adults, work, travel, it was an unbelievable time. But there was a narcissist that was hidden the entire time. I could feel it in the room but I didn't know what it was. I know today what it was. It was a narcissist in my home, carefully hidden away until it wasn't. I saw it with my own eyes, the evil that was hidden away. She split and her eyes turned black and her face changed and I saw a creature that was hidden away for 5 years. It'll get better, just one day at a time and one day you'll be there, that's it. I had a very similar story to yours. I am so sorry. It is a pain that is unimaginable to most. It's not just the stuff they did that hurts, it's the loss of what you thought you had. Everyone here knows what this is like, so you are amongst good company. I'm a little over a year out. I feel like I am finally starting to get to the point where I can say I'm beginning to feel better. The first year after was a haze of pain. Each day blending into the next. No joy. Slowly over time the world has started to get its color back. When you're going through hell, keep going. Read about the illness, learn about yourself, take time to grieve. Treat yourself as kind as you can. Lean on your friends and family. If you've been isolated from them over the years, now is the time to reach out. The good will understand and help as best they can. Keep the faith that things will get better in time. I am so proud of you for acknowledging your situation and doing everything in your power to protect your children. You deserve more and you know it. It may feel like you've lost everything, but now is not forever. You're gaining your life back. There are adventures to have and people to love and a long road ahead. This too shall pass. I related to this post more than perhaps any other that I have read on here. The legal system has been unreliable so far to me as well, adding to the misery I have been mired in for the last half year. I wish that I could articulate this better, but it almost seems like I've entered some alternate universe or that I am in a sim. Everything looks the same, but the emotions that I feel daily are altered just enough to give me this uneasy feeling all the time. I wrote out a history of our relationship a few weeks back that helped me a great deal at the time, but its positive effects have waned since. If you need someone to talk to, feel free to contact me here. Tell me about it, disappointed face. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.